Thank you for watching. This is Mature Living, and I'm Mary Yanez, the director of the Senior Adult Program. We have an interesting topic to talk to you about. This is a nonprofit organization that has been in El Paso and actively helping seniors in our community, persons that have need, for about 28 years. So have you heard about Rebuilding Together in El Paso? Rebuilding Together El Paso. Well, you're going to find out about what it's all about, their mission, and how they help our community. And with us is the executive director of that program, Roger Demore. Thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
So let's talk a little bit about the mission. Who is and what is Rebuilding El Paso?
Okay. Rebuilding Together El Paso, previously called Christmas in April. Some people might remember us under that name. Now, our mission is repairing homes, revitalizing communities, and rebuilding lives. And just to highlight that last part of our mission, we helped a gentleman who had lost his leg, was moving around in his wheelchair in his home and couldn't enter his bathroom because it was too narrow. So having done that for a year, you can imagine what kind of life this gentleman had. And then widening the access to his bathroom, taking the tub out and building a shower for him, that was rebuilding a life. So just as an example.
There's so many seniors that have those kinds of needs but don't know who to call and don't know that there's help available.
Exactly. And thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about our nonprofit, because that will enable people to reach out to us.
Yes.
Yeah?
And how is the program funded? How do you get funding for this?
We get funding from various sources. First of all, we do these repairs free of charge, but we fund it with CDBG money. We
get the city?
Yeah, from the city. We get great support from the banks in El Paso, Westar Bank, but also the Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Yeah, El Paso Electric is funding us. Home Depot is doing a great job. We get funding from Wells Fargo, and I can go on and on.
Oh, well, that's good that we have this community that is so generous, to help others. There's a couple of districts you're concentrating on in reaching out to seniors. So what are the qualifications, first of all, of the persons that might have need for some help?
Yeah, we help elderly people. It means 60 years or older, but also younger people when they are disabled. Okay. Yeah, we focus on the elderly and the disabled people. They must have a qualifying income according to HUD guidelines. They must be homeowner and live in the home.
Okay, very good. Those are pretty straightforward qualifiers. Very good. And what parts of the city will you be concentrating on reaching, or for us to tell you who lives in this part of the city and that's going to need help because they have a leaky roof, or because they need maybe a ramp or a door that needs to be widened?
Yep. Yeah. The city requires us to focus every year on 2 different districts. This year, this fiscal year, which started in September, this will be District 3 and 5. And that means central around the refinery, yes. Up to the east side, continuing in District 5, all below Montana Avenue.
Very good, very good. And so you have your areas that the city, through their funding, they want you to concentrate. Yeah. There's a lot of elders that live in those areas, the central areas. And I also wanted to ask you about what kinds of repairs do you do, or you get calls for most regularly? Plumbing or?
Yeah, now in many cases roof leaks.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
And that has to do with health in the home, of course, when the roof leaks. And you should see a home after a year having suffered leaks. So safety. Safety has, we improve the safety in the home in the bathroom area. People fall, elderly people fall in the bathroom area. So what we do tub to shower conversions. We install grab bars.
The grab bars are so important, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But that are just a few examples. Safety is a very wide understanding. Yeah? The street number on the curb is a good example. I once had a team, I gave them the assignment to paint that street number on the curb, and then they called me, said, we can't find the home. So that's why you are going there. The ambulance has to find a home as well.
That's right, and then that has to do with safety.
Yes.
So you evaluate each request depending on how it's going to impact the quality of life of the person, mobility, safety, and so it's not the aesthetic things that you're going to be dealing with.
No, we do a proper job. It looks neat, but we are not going to do remodeling.
Very good. Now, revitalization partnership, what is that?
That's community? A very interesting subject. We try to partner with other non-profits or other organizations as to find synergy in supporting both missions. Now, an example is we have done a project at the Reynolds home, the Reynolds home, where we installed a laundry room for 10 machines which have to work at the same time. A lot of power, a lot of plumbing, a lot of electricity. That's an example. We have done the Opportunity Center. At this moment we are working at the food bank. So these are all projects which are supporting in a broader concept the community of El Paso.
What an awesome, awesome organization you have. Rebuilding Together El Paso. And this is not building homes like other organizations that we know, Habitat of the Humanity, do a great job. But you are revitalizing and helping individuals.
Right.
Volunteer opportunities. Tell me, what do you need? What kind of people do you need to help you?
First of all, we need people to help to organize with us. We need people, we call it home review, people going to the homes to find out what are the needs of the people. And they will be in a committee or in a board position. We need somebody for public relations because we would like the people to know us.
Yes.
We would like to have a project manager. So we have at this moment only two people, full-time people. That's myself, and that is an AmeriCorps position. But we need the support of a board, and which we have. But we have several positions in the board. That's one thing. But we need also house captains. That are people with a technical background who are there when we are painting a home, when we are cleaning up yards, to oversee the activity. And then we need volunteers to do the painting of the homes and the yard cleaning.
Yes.
We have an event day in April. We work together with the UTAP, Project Move, and then we paint 30 homes and clean up yards.
Yes.
And we got plenty of volunteers. Many organizations in El Paso want to volunteer and support us on that day.
What has been the impact of your contributions?
We have done over 1,000 projects over time. We have reached out to 2,200 people living in those homes, and we have invested in the community $2.7 million.
Wow, that is impressive. Well, whatever we can do to make sure that grows and that you have all the volunteers, whether you need skilled persons, skilled workers, coordinators, captains, whatever you need. I hope we can get you some volunteers and you get many calls. So let's give your phone number and your email where they can reach you, and that would be very helpful.
Okay, the phone number is 915-832-7010, and the email address is very easy. It's info@rebuildingtogetherelpaso.org.
Very good. Well, hopefully that I can help as well, and that we can get a lot of people interested in helping the elderly, the disabled, and persons with financial need that need these repairs.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, and we'll be back with more guests here on Mature Living. Well, thank you for staying with us here on Mature Living. One of my favorite things, and I know I'm not a musician, but is to enjoy music. And I guess in all of us, it's in our heart. And it should be. As we're little, we always remember the songs that they taught us when we were little, or the songs that Mom sang, around the house, or when we were going to sleep. So, but when you get to this age, my age, and when you get to be a college student and you have a love for music, then you go to the music department. And I want to introduce you to Yasmin Flores. She is the Doctorate of Music Arts. She is the coordinator of the music department here at the El Paso Community College. And I'm so happy to have her be involved with the Senior Adult Program and to come here to Mature Living to share a lot of good information that I think you will enjoy. Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
The last time I saw you were a judge in our seniors
yes.
talent show.
That's right. Yes, I enjoyed that very much.
Oh, great.
Yes.
We're probably gonna be seeing each other more often.
Good.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, Dr. Flores.
Okay. I started playing clarinet at 11 at Scottsdale Elementary School up here on McRae. Went to Eastwood Middle School, was in the band there under Gene Addis and Fred Paz. And then finally I started at Eastwood High School, and then I actually graduated from Hanks High School, and wonderful instructors all the way through, absolutely wonderful. And so now I'm working here at EPCC, helping the next generation of students to learn music and finish up here and then head on to finish their bachelor's.
That is so great, because the arts, the musical arts, the theater arts, the painting, you know, anything of those types of classes. They used to call them electives, but I think they shouldn't be. Tell me about your credit classes and what you're doing.
Yes, our credit classes. So we offer lessons. We offer lessons on anything from piano and voice to tuba, flute, guitar, all kinds of different instruments. Any instrument you come to us with, we'll find you an instructor on that instrument.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, yeah. El Paso has lots of musicians and
lots of talent.
Yes, lots of talent, and we also have 7 ensembles at EPCC.
Okay.
We have guitar ensemble, band, jazz band, orchestra, mariachi, choir, and I'm forgetting, and percussion ensemble. I got them this time.
Wow, yes, you did a good job, and I think they were listed in one of these things.
Right.
But you also have chorus?
We do. We have, yes, the choir is under Rick McDole, and all of those ensembles are open on CE as well. So you can join through the continuing ed side. And come and join us. Our first concert is coming up October 16th for all those ensembles.
And what is this the concert? It's going to be student ensembles?
Yes.
Tell me about that and where it's going to be and when.
Absolutely.
It's a Wednesday, right?
It's a Wednesday night. It's at 7:30, October 16th, and it's in the B building here at the ASC. And we have several of our ensembles get together and they perform. We'll have the band, the choir, the jazz band, several of them get together and they do about a 10 to 15 minute set each group, and then we rotate off and go to the next group.
And it's very affordable. Our seniors can go and enjoy this beautiful concert.
Yes.
Bring the family, bring the kids that love music or that are playing an instrument so that they can be inspired. When I go to college, I can be part of this a group like this.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And seniors are everyone is more than welcome to come. We ask for $5 tickets is what we have, and that helps us with a lot of the costs. You can imagine the arts are always very expensive. And so it helps us throughout the year afford things that we need for the department and so forth. So
talking about affording things is donations of musical instruments. Tell me about that project that you have going.
Actually. So we started, I contacted AVP Mo here at EPCC, and I told her I would like to open an invitation to faculty and even students that have instruments lying around in the attic, in the garage, and they're collecting dust, And I was surprised to see how many people emailed me back and said, oh, you know what, I have a clarinet. Oh, I have a flute. And we started getting quite a few donations. Yes. So it's been really terrific. It helps us because a lot of our students, they come out of programs where they didn't own their own instrument. And so when they get to college, they have to try to borrow something. And so now we're able to supply them.
How awesome. It's kind of like a music closet, like a rainbow room, or
there you go. Exactly.
We have to call it something.
Right, that's true.
Call it something. One of the things that we haven't talked about at a more recent event that's going to happen. Tell me about the Chopin Piano Music Festival.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Scarborough, who was the very first music coordinator here at EPCC, she started the Chopin Piano Festival here in El Paso, Texas.
25 years ago.
25 years ago.
Can you imagine?
I can't believe
I think I've
it.
been here that long at
Have
the
you?
college.
Okay.
46 years, by the
Oh
way. So
my
I'm right
goodness.
there with Dr. Scarborough. yes.
Wow, that's awesome. So she put this together herself, and they've collaborated with the Chamisal for many years. So the first concert coming up is September 28th, and that's at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. Get there early. The first 2 concerts, all 3 concerts actually, we have to turn people away.
Yes.
Because there's so many people that get there,
my
which is a great problem.
Get there early. It's a great problem. 3 concerts, right?
Yes, and the last one is Dr. Scarborough herself. She still performs beautifully.
Yes, she's amazing.
She really is. Yes.
What a great artist.
Absolutely.
What a great pianist.
Yes.
And teacher. And many, many students are still following her
Absolutely.
music festival, the Chopin. She
Yes.
loves Chopin.
Yes.
I don't think we mentioned on the ensemble concert that it's going to be at the El Paso Community College at the Administrative Service Center in the B building.
In the B building.
In the B building, in the foyer.
Right. Right in between culinary and the cashiers is where we perform.
Very good. At
Yes.
7:30 p.m.
7:30.
But they must get their tickets. Where can they get their tickets?
Usually it's at the
$5.
door. Right at the door.
At the door.
Yes.
Super. I think I'll be there
Yes.
because
Oh,
I work
good.
right there.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'll
That'd
just
be
stick
great.
around.
Right. There you go.
There's something else that I wanted to ask you, or just share with you maybe. One of my dreams is that the community college has a musical arts auditorium or theater.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I think that would be amazing.
Would you join my bandwagon?
All right.
So that we can pray.
Right.
We can pray, we can beg,
Yes,
we can do whatever we can to have.
Right.
And what would we call it? It's an arts?
I mean, it could be, sort of
Center?
an arts center. That would be absolutely stunning. I know the new building has an auditorium that we'll be looking at to see what those acoustics are like.
Yeah, because we don't want you to be doing ensembles on foyers.
Right.
And in, lobbies.
Right.
We need a theater. We need our very own El Paso Community College Theater. And when we get to maybe voting to see how we can enhance our beautiful music programs,
Yes.
that is culture. That is
Right.
cultura, right?
Absolutely.
La música.
Yes, exactly.
So beautiful. Well, thank you for being with us, Dr.
course.
Flores.
Thank
It's
you.
good to meet you, and thank you for being an El Pasoan student, born and
Yes.
raised here,
Thank
working
you.
with our community college.
Thank
we
you
are
so
a family
much.
of the community.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
We'll be back with more guests, and we've been talking with Jasmine Flores. I'd like to give a phone number, if I may, 831-2361 if you want to contact her about a donation or about the wonderful programs that the college offers in the music department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for staying with us. This last conversation we're going to have is going to be, we're going to be talking about the USO that has been around for, I don't remember, maybe World War II, I don't know, but many, many years. And the USO is still active in helping our military personnel, our soldiers, families of soldiers, and this community, and serving this community. And with us is Yolanda Castillo, who is the director of the USO El Paso. And they have many centers. Well, she's going to tell us all about the services that they provide. Thank you for being with us.
It's good to see you, Mary.
Yoli. We've been friends for I don't know how long, I say, since you were a teenager, maybe.
Not quite that long, but we're close.
Okay. So I want for you to tell me what you've been up to. What is the mission of the USO? You've been with the USO now how many years?
14 years.
14 years. Oh my gosh. Amazing. You've done amazing things.
It's a beautiful mission.
Yes, it is. Tell me about the USO.
Well-
And what does it USO stand for?
Okay, USO is an acronym. It stands for United Service Organizations. So it was originally 6 nonprofits that were created by President FDR. And he wanted for service members to have a place that they could connect to, where they would feel welcome. They would remind them of home, wherever they might be anywhere on the globe. And so he created the United Service Organizations, which is the USO. So that was the umbrella organization.
And what year was that?
1941.
1941.
Yes, almost 80 years old.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm so glad that you came to share with us and what you're doing and about the centers. Tell me about your growth.
Well, we started off with one location at Fort Bliss. It's a nonprofit. There's a misnomer in that the USO is associated with the Department of Defense so closely that some people think that we're actually part of the federal government. But it's a nonprofit charitable 501c3 organization. And so we've got 5 locations on Fort Bliss, and we have one at the airport, and we also have a food truck that we take out to remote locations as part of our expeditionary support that is provided to service members and families.
And to El Paso, a food truck is not is not something new. I mean, you know, we've had food trucks in El Paso in our border community.
That's right. That's right.
That's how the kids get their burritos or taquitos. You know,
that's true. It's kind of ingrained in the culture. And so we brought that over. We inherited it from another USO on the East Coast, and we've had it for about 10 years now. And we use it on a regular basis. Service members really enjoy it.
It's amazing. So who do we serve? Who comes into your centers? I noticed somebody mentioned to me, there's a USO lounge at the airport. And I said, I've never noticed. But yes, tell me about that.
There is. So our mission is one of connection. What we endeavor to do is we strive to strengthen America's service members by keep them connected to what they love the most, which is their family, their home, and their country. And so we do that at airport centers and installation centers and other things, different programs and services throughout the year. In particular, at the airport, we're there to serve as a VIP lounge for the military. Many times they'll come to an international airport like the one we have here in El Paso on their way to deployment or back from deployment, and they need a special place where they can rest and have people that will understand what they're going through or what they've just been through. Sometimes military families will get stuck at airports on their way to and from rest and relaxation breaks. And so it's important to have that support at airports.
What about at the actual centers? Do you have computers for them?
Yes, we do.
What kind of services do you provide?
You know what I like? I like in the USO to kind of like going to your best friend's house.
Yes.
So when you come over to your best friend's house, you're welcome. You know, the arms are wide open and you're made to feel welcome and appreciated, and that's what the USO does. So we provide meals and drinks, non-alcoholic, but we have a soda fountain. They have access to the snack bar. Everything is provided free of charge. We have some wonderful supporters throughout the community on a national and local level that will make catered meals available. So we have, for example, just last week we had barbecue. Another day we might have pizza for lunch. Sometimes we'll have hot dogs. Other times it'll be burritos. But there's always something to eat, something to snack on.
Movies?
Movies.
Oh.
They can come in and use the cyber cafe, which has got, you know, dozens of computers. They can access their personal accounts. They can do training, complete certification that is required before they deploy. And then it's just a place to gather with friends and families. Sometimes when service members bring in family members from out of town, they'll come and meet at the USO, and everybody's welcome.
I just met a couple of your volunteers that were at the community college recently.
Yes.
Wonderful volunteers. I'm sure that you always can use volunteers.
Oh yes, it's a volunteer-focused organization. So less than about 10% of the donations that are made to the USO are used for administration, and 90% is returned back to programs and service delivery.
Yes, wonderful. How can the community help?
They can come and volunteer. That's one of the best ways to support the USO.
Is it difficult to get into the Fort Bliss or to the centers? Or
not at all, not at all. So they just need to go on the website. We're going to have it listed on the screen.
Oh, yes. I know you have events. You just had a run, a race, bicycle. What was that you just had?
We have events throughout the year. Yes. So we've just completed what we call the Oryx Challenge, and that's something where we engage the community with the military. So there are often people in the community that want to express their gratitude and say thank you to service members, and the USO is really a very user-friendly way of doing that.
That's wonderful.
Less bureaucracy than people would expect, and service members are so grateful to volunteers and people that support us.
You know, when I see military personnel and soldiers, and they're so young. They look so young to me now that I'm older.
Well, they are young, Mary.
They're very
yes,
young.
they are.
Some of them are very young. And so I can see that they're maybe missing their families, their friends, their hometown, wherever they came from. but we're so appreciative of their service. I do have a grandson that's in the Navy, and he's deployed in a ship right now. So we pray for their safety always, and we also pray for great services. And in this community, I know you, because I know you are serving our military in a very special way. Is there something that you want to tell this community? I'm sure that you're very grateful.
Oh yes, Mary. Just last week, I was sitting down, a few weeks ago, it wasn't last week, a few weeks ago, I was sitting down with a service member in a setup very similar to this. So it's like home. And I sat down next to him and asked him how he was doing. And he told me that he had lost a family member while he was on deployment. And he was feeling a little bit sad. And during the course of the conversation, he asked if I could give him a hug. And that's what we did. And I told him, anytime you want to come back and you just need a hug, you know where we are. And that's what volunteers do.
Super.
So in a very meaningful way, people make an impact more than they know.
Yes.
And you can do that by your time. You can make a contribution. There's so many different opportunities.
Yeah, and of course your staff. Very special. How many staff members do you have?
We have 11 team members.
Yes.
And the rest are volunteers. So we have hundreds of volunteers. Many of them help us with events. And then we have probably 80 people that are there on a weekly basis, sometimes twice a week, to help us staff the centers and engage service members throughout the day and into the evening.
Well, congratulations on your great success, the accomplishments of the USO here in El Paso. Thanks to you and your staff and all the wonderful volunteers. And I hope that people will call this number that we are going to give again one more time.
915-569-5644.
Super. And I hope we've covered everything that you wanted to share.
We sure have.
Oh, good. Okay, so we've been talking with Yolanda Castillo. She's the director of the USO in El Paso. Well, thank you for joining us here on Mature Living. As you know, we do many programs for seniors for the community, free programs, and this year, for Grandparents' Day, we decided to do a talent show. So we may do it another time. So if you have any talent, if you think you would like to participate and audition for the Seniors Talent Spectacular next year, you be sure and call us at 831-7801. Thank you so much, and we're having a great time, as you can see.
Ya verás lo que vas a aprender cuando vivas conmigo.